Okay. Now, let me ask Rama, why don't you like writing?
Because it's difficult. Why?
Because it's difficult. There is another alternative. And instead of difficult, you could say, for example, well, it's easy, but I'm not used to writing.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe because if
And
you say,
it need uh, practical كتير يعني.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, but if you look, at the other side of the coin, so you could say, well, it's easy, but I'm not used to writing. So maybe.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Abdurrahman, why don't you like writing?
I don't hate it, but I don't like it also.
Yeah, you are neutral. Yeah, you are neutral. Okay, no problem. Let me ask now, Huda.
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you like writing?
I don't know. I think it's a big challenge for me. I have so many vocab, as I thought, but when it's come to write a complete sentence with the right structure and tense, no, it's all wrong. I don't know. I always have spent
Have
a
you
lot of
ever?
time to write a small task.
Okay, good. Now, have you ever been taught how to write? Have you ever been taught how to write? Now,
No,
I mean teachers who taught you before. So did they show you how you should write?
no,
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 this is
this
the
is the
problem. Yeah.
problem.
no.
This is
This
the
is the
problem.
problem.
Yes.
Okay, I think we have Hassan. I haven't asked Hassan. Hassan, what's your take on your write? What's your take on writing? Why don't you like it?
I don't have a problem with writing.
You don't have what?
The only problem I have with writing is the spelling.
The spelling.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, anyways, inshallah, by the end of this tutorial session today, you will change your mind. Okay, so writing is not something that you should fear. So it is not something difficult, but you need to learn how to write. Okay, so we're gonna go through the steps that will help you, inshallah, improve your writing skills. Okay, so I'd like you to join Kahoot. Now you can scan this QR code.
Just
Alternatively, you can go to kahoot.it and you key in this game pin number. So it's 1725637.
just
Oh, okay. So you want me to highlight the QR code? You can scan it from here, no problem. Okay, so so far we have 3 students who've joined. Abdurrahman, Huda, Rama, Hassan, and we're waiting for Khawla. I'm not sure if you can join or not. If you cannot, let's get started.
I will join. Give me a
Okay.
second.
Okay, no problem. I will give you 1 minute, not 1 second.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, no worries. You can join later, no problem. So the pin will be provided here at the bottom of the screen. Okay, no problem. So you can just key in it and you'll be there. Okay, we're gonna start. Now we're going to talk about IELTS writing number 2. we already talked about number one, so just an introduction. And we're going to talk about now the title of this tutorial session is creative writing, and it's a workshop. So it means that we're going to work together. Okay, so I'm not going to ask you, okay, write about this. No, no, no. So we're going to learn together how we can write. So we're going to do everything together. Okay, guys? Okay. Now we have this actually in the IELTS exam. So you have three types of essays. Okay. So normally the first type, so they fall under the big umbrella, which is argumentative writing. So you need to argue. Now this means that you need to give your viewpoint and you need to support this view. Okay. And here we have two types of essays. We have discussion essays and we have personal viewpoint essays. Now, how can you tell the difference between both? So it's according to the question that you need to answer. So if you have discussed both views and give your opinion, well, that's what you call a discussion essay. Now, we have another type of essays. Now, this is the personal viewpoint essay, and they come into two categories. Now, number one, do you agree or disagree? And the second one is, to what extent do you agree? Okay, now today we're going to focus on this one. Do you agree or disagree? So how should you go about structuring out your essay? What are the components that I need to include in my essay? And what are the criteria that will help me score high in this essay? Okay, so that's basically what we're going to do. Okay, now these are the lesson objectives. So by the end of this tutorial session, hopefully you will be able to identify and describe the essential, the most important components or parts of a personal viewpoint essay. Now we have the introduction, we have the body, and we have the conclusion. So we're going to talk about each part and what you really need, okay, in order to meet the IELTS criteria or the band descriptors. Now, number two, we're going to identify persuasive language. Now, persuade means to convince, al-iqna'. Okay, so how can you be convincing when delivering your message? And the logical reasoning. This is about, for example, how you can produce an argument. So I think we talked about argumentation before. We said that the argument should have two parts. Number one is the conclusion or the claim, and number two are the premises. So which are the reasons? So we're going to talk about this thing. And lastly, we're going to compose a coherent and well-structured personal viewpoint essay. What we're going to do this together. This is what we call a joint construction of the text. So this means that the teacher and the students are going to write together. Okay, so that I can show you the process. And if you really follow, and if you do the practice exercises we're gonna do inshallah together, you will understand how to write, and writing will be very easy for you, because most of the students, they do not know how to start. This is the problem. Okay, great. Now this is a voyage into your pre-existing knowledge. Now this means that what do you know about this topic? I mean, personal viewpoint essays. What is your opinion, or what knowledge do you have, on personal viewpoint essay? So maybe you have some misconceptions. Maybe you have taken something which is not true. Maybe you have listened to a friend. Maybe you have watched, tutorial sessions on YouTube. So I'm going to this will help me get insights into your prior knowledge, so that we can, add something to it, or simply help you to change your, perception about writing. Okay. So I'm going to ask you for 5 questions, guys. So when writing a personal viewpoint essay, okay, what do you need to do? I should maintain the same opinion throughout my essay. I should keep the same opinion. I should not change my opinion. Or I can change my opinion in any part of the essay. or I should include my opinion in the conclusion only, or I should include my opinion in the introduction only. There's only one correct answer. What do you think it is? Okay, great. Great. Okay, so most of you have answered the question correctly. So normally when I'm talking, when I'm writing a personal viewpoint essay, because it's a personal view, that's your viewpoint, you should have an opinion. And when you have this opinion, the problem with the students is that sometimes they write their opinion in the introduction, and then, for example, when they write their conclusion, you will not find the same opinion. So it has changed. Now, this is a flaw in writing, and you should never do it. When you have an opinion, so you need to keep it. And you need to put your opinion in the introduction, and then you go about explaining or supporting this opinion, and then you should come up with an evident conclusion, so which is similar to the one that you held in the introduction. Now, this is what you need to do, guys, okay? You should never change your opinion. So the question is, do you agree or disagree? Now, if you agree, throughout your essay, you should show me why you agreed, okay? And you should use convincing language in order to come up to the conclusion, okay, with the conclusion, okay? And the conclusion would say, well, this is why I agree, okay? So if you change your opinion, the IELTS examiner will not understand, okay, your opinion and what you're doing exactly. So change your, so someone here, I don't know who, this person is, no problem, can change my opinion in any part of the essay. You should never do this. You should always keep the same opinion throughout your essay. This is number one. Great. So it's Mr. Hassan. Hassan, you should never change your opinion. You should always keep the same opinion throughout your essay. Okay, now, all the reasons I give should help me meet the word count. You have to write 250 words. So is this why you are including reasons, or I need to support the opposite? Now, the opinion which is counter to mine, or agree with the
بالغلط حطيت الأزرق.
no problem. So agree with the examiner's opinion. So you don't even know what the examiner's opinion is. Okay, so yeah, I need to support my opinion now. All the reasons I give should support my opinion, which is clearly indicated in the introduction. Huda, way to go. Ahsant. Okay, question number 3. I should come up with at least, to support my opinion, at least 2 reasons, 4 reasons, 5 reasons, or 6 reasons. Yeah, so I need to come up with at least 2 reasons, and this is the minimum number now, which means that I need to write 2 body paragraphs. Okay, now why not 4? Because you have, a word limit, which is 250 words. And the most important thing for the examiner is to make sure that you are someone who can develop their ideas. So this is what you call paragraph development. And if you have 2 reasons, you will have a good chance to show the examiner how you can develop your ideas. But if you have 4 reasons and you want to develop your ideas, it means that you will end up writing at least 800 words, which is way too much. So 2 reasons, and you develop them in a very good way. I will show you how, to go about developing a paragraph. It's very important. Okay, so I think the highest score will be on your ability to develop a paragraph. So 2 reasons or maximum 3 reasons, okay? But you should never write 4 reasons, because here for sure, if you want to develop them, you will exceed the word limit by far. 5 reasons this is impossible and this one is impossible. So for a few, alhamdulillah, so they are okay. Rama, way to go, ahsan. And you have a streak of 3 correct answers. Huda is still number 1. Now, to get a high score, I should not. What shouldn't you do? Paraphrase the question, use cohesive devices, develop my ideas, use memorized phrases. Now, memorized phrases are phrases, or they are called the cliches. Okay, so you learn them and then you throw them up, on your paper. Memorization, you learn something by heart, you memorize them, and then you reproduce them in your essay. So there's only one thing that you should not do, only one thing. Okay. Use memorized, yeah, very good, excellent. Yes, so here, use cohesive devices. Now, this is a must. You have to use your cohesive devices. Now, when you are reading, these are what we call signposting. Their use is very important so that the examiner can follow through your ideas. If you do not use signposting, the examiner will not understand and your writing will not be logical. Okay, but using memorized phrases, this is the worst thing you can do. I will show you why later on. Okay, great. I think this is the last question. Examiners are looking for, what are they looking for? Rare words, they are not used too often and they are used individually. So these are called bombastic words. A group of words used naturally, or fancy, big ideas that impress them, or a highly complex language. What are they looking for in particular? Oh, okay, here we have divergent viewpoints. Now, 2 of you opted for this one. Yeah, so actually, in order to communicate a message in writing, okay, you should use words, and these words should, they should be natural. Okay, so groups of words that are used naturally, and this will help you communicate a clear message. Now, fancy ideas. There is nothing in the IELTS criteria or in the writing band descriptors that asks you to, to come up with, big ideas, no fancy ideas. No, they don't care about this thing. So the only thing they care about is that you are someone who can convey a message in English, of course, in writing. Okay, so do never think of using fancy ideas. No, they don't like this. There is nothing, you will get no mark here. Okay, so there is no need to lose your time, thinking about big ideas. Okay, this is not what they are looking for. So the most important thing is that when you have a topic and they ask you whether you agree or you disagree, well, you could say, well, I agree with this for the following 2 reasons. Number 1, try to go, for a very simple reason, guys. But the most important thing is that you will be able to develop this reason into a paragraph. This is what they are looking for. Okay, I told you there's no score here, no mark will be on your fancy ideas. The most important thing is that how you can develop these ideas into a paragraph. And a highly complex language, no, they are not looking for this. They are not looking for this. Now, the only thing they want to make sure of is that you're someone who can communicate a message in writing. This is what they want to know. Okay. Khawla, very good. She jumped to the first position. Okay, now these are the questions. Rate your understanding of the essay. Don't. Now these are things that you should not do. Drop the pin onto the smiley face that best represents you. Now, if you feel confident, okay, so you answer the questions correctly, you know what is meant by, personal viewpoint essay. Okay, so you have Likert scale from 1 to 5? About the questions that I have just asked you guys. Okay, so we have only one. So who opted for this one, the 5-star, and we have 4 students. Now this is fine. This is really excellent. Good. Okay. Now, when we write an essay, now this is what you haven't taken at school. Okay. When you write an essay, the first thing that you need to do, guys, you should know that there are some steps that we need to go through these steps, step by step, in order to produce an essay. Okay. Writing is not, you know, a product. No, it is more of a process than product. There are steps that I need to go through so that I can provide, or I can come up with a decent piece of writing. Now, step number 1, on test day, you will given 2 tasks. So task number 1, task number 2. Today, our focus is on task number 2. Now, the first thing you need to do, guys, is to understand the question. Many students do not understand the question, and this is why when they write, so they will come up with something which is off point. Okay, they won't be able to answer the question. And writing, you should look at it as, you know, it's a question that I need to answer. Now, if you answer the question successfully, this means that you will have a high score. But if you fail to answer your question, this means that your score will be affected. Okay, so step number 1, and this is what I would like you to do. We need to understand the question. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to write about? Okay, this is step number 1. Now here we have a writing prompt. Well, this is the question. Social media has exerted a harmful influence on the members of every society. Now, in this statement, you should understand one thing. So all IELTS writing prompts, they have 2 parts. Well, we have the first part is here, which is a statement, okay? And the second part is the question. Do you agree or disagree with the statement? Okay, so this IELTS prompt is divided into 2 parts. Now, number 1, what is the issue? What is the topic? What am I supposed to write about? So the content. So this is number 1. And number 2 is the question. It is the way I should answer the question and what they really want from me. Okay, now this is the way you should look at it. Now, this is a question. Do you agree or disagree with the statement? And here provide. Now, this is another part of the question. Provide some reasons. Well, I need to come up with reasons, and I need to come up with examples to support my opinion. Now, it means what? I need to give my opinion, and I need to include some reasons and examples to support my opinion. This is what they want from me. Now, this is the writing prompt. And the same thing, you need to meet the word count. So this is written for the MSAT students, and that's why I asked you if anyone attended last night's lecture, but you said no. Okay, so I said no harm. It is writing. Now, write here we have no less. For the IELTS, we say no less than 250 words. Okay, an essay of no less than 250 words on this topic. Now, 250 words, guys, is the least requirement. The least requirement. So normally, if you are aiming, I don't know, maybe a band 7, 8, or 9, so you need to write more than 250. So let's say something that falls between 250 and 300. Well, that's good, okay, but you should never exceed 300 words. 270, 280, it is good, because I've known students, okay, so who write one sentence and they start counting the words, and their objective is, you know, to meet the word count only, to get 250. That's not an objective. That's not an objective. The objective normally is to answer the question clearly so that the examiner can understand or can get the message across. But the word limit should not be a priority. Okay, it is true that you should not write less than 250. Okay, but this shouldn't be your objective. Because here, if your objective is to come up with 250 words, so you will write anything. And the most important thing for you is to, meet the word count. This shouldn't be an objective. The objective, I should write something that the examiner can understand. Okay? Now, I'm going to ask you some questions about this prompt to make sure that you understood it. You have 2 minutes to read the prompt carefully. I have helped you because I have read it for you to answer the questions that follow. So I'm going to ask you some of the questions I have already answered here. Okay, question number 1. What is the topic of the prompt? Now, the topic of the statement, is it social media networking sites, video streaming services, email platforms, or online forums? What does it talk about? The topic. It's only one word, guys. I mean, the topic, one idea, the focus. What should I write about? Great. Okay, online forums. I don't know who chose this one, but it is about social media. Online forums, okay? It is not the focus of the paragraph. The focus of the paragraph is social media networking sites, whether you're talking about Facebook or you're talking about Twitter, talking about Instagram, talking about YouTube, okay? But here you see, now this is very general because it includes video streaming services and it includes, online forums and email platforms. But the topic, this is my topic, but it's not this one. Okay, now the first thing I need to pay attention to is the topic. So I need to decide the focus, and you should never write something which is away from, the big idea, which is about social media. You should never write about this one. Never. Okay, cool. Okay, good. Khawla. Yeah. Now, what statement does the writing prompt make about social media? Now, this is the topic is social media. Now, what does the writer or what does the statement say about social media? Social media has a negative impact on the public, on people. Social media has a negative and positive impacts on people. Social media has negative effects, but we should not blame social media. We should blame people instead. And access to social media should be banned. It should not be allowed. So the focus, what does the writer say about the topic? The topic is social media. The second thing I need to understand, what does he say or what do they say about the topic? Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Now, this tells me that you have a problem, okay, understanding the topic. It's very important that you spend some time. You have 30 minutes, 40 minutes, okay, to complete this task. You should spend at least 2 to 5 minutes, guys. Read the topic and try to understand what is required from you. Now, for those who are going to write about social media has negative and positive impacts on people, this is not said, this is not stated in the prompt. The prompt says it has negative impact on people, but it never mentioned that it has positive impacts. So if you go about writing about social media and the negative things and the positive things, you will be off point because this is not required. So the statement says, well, social media has negative impact on people. And this is what you need to do. What you're going to do, guys, you're going to agree. You say, yes, this is true. Or you may want to disagree. You say, no, this is wrong. Okay. But here, for this one, social media has negative and positive impacts on people. If you agree with this, it means that you have to write about both, the destructive effect of social media and the positive effect of social media, which is not required. Now, here you will go off point, which will tell the examiner that you did not understand the topic and you will get a very low score. So this is why I advised you to spend some time reading, trying to analyze Okay, so the writing prompt, what is required? You need to understand it, guys. This is number one. You need to understand the writing prompt. Okay, good. Khawla is still leading the leaderboard. Now, this is a brainstorming question. Now, tell me what you are going to write about to show me you have understood the issue. I'd like you to write one sentence so about the topic and about what the topic says. Okay, so you can start as follows. So I'm going to write about, no need for to tell me I'm going to write about. So you will write social media and the negative effect or its negative effects on people. So write a statement like this. Okay, so try to use your own words, and that's why I did not display the writing prompt here. So I'd like you to use your own words. What are you going to write about? Okay, we have 7 ideas. Now these are the ideas. Okay. Now what are we going to do, guys? So are we gonna vote for them? You read the idea. If you like the idea, okay. If it is an exact paraphrase of the statement, you give it a star. If it is not, so don't give it anything. You just skip it. You press skip only. Okay. Okay, great. Now here we have the student who has got the highest number of stars is Hassan. It's about the negative effects of social media on people. Now this is really excellent. Okay, and you deserve the number of stars you got. Excellent, way to go. Now here we have second one. Let me highlight them. Okay, social media has a negative impact on the public. This is Khawla. This is really excellent. Ahsanti. Okay, social media has negative impacts on the individuals of every society. Now, there is really, I think this is the best one, okay? But there is a problem with this sentence. Who can tell me what the problem is? There is one mistake in grammar. What is it?
The full stop.
Okay, there is no,
Has
I said
has or impacts
impacts. What is the problem?
السوشيال ميديا هني حطت هاز يعني
Now
صباح
here we can say social media has. We can say social media have the same thing. Now look, word media here, media is plural. The singular is medium. Okay, we say one medium. Media is plural. But when it comes to social media, okay, so we can say has, no problem, or have, both are correct.
Yes وimpact negative
very
يعني
good.
لازم
Excellent.
واحد.
Ahsanti. So here she said here she said impacts. Now means one. For example, if she said, well, social media has a negative impact without the s, now that's perfect. But if you say here and impacts, they don't go together. So you should either singularize this one, put it in the singular, singularize it, okay, or you can pluralize it, so with an s, but you should delete the is it clear, Huda?
Yes, but when we continue, we cannot put only one impact. So I know that my mistake, but we cannot just mention one impact.
No problem, but here you need to remove
Yeah,
what?
it remove the a. Yeah. Okay.
That's it. Okay, but very good. Okay, now how social media can affect people within their communities. Well, I wrote this sentence, and this is not a sentence because here we don't have a subject and a verb. How social media can affect, because here we have how, so there is another clause missing. So this is why I didn't put a full stop. Now normally you put a full stop when you have a sentence, but this is not a sentence. This is what they call a fragment. Okay, no need to get too technical, but here I would like to draw your attention to the fact here. So this is a verb. When you write affect, the same pronunciation, effect or effect. Okay, but here we start with an a. Now this is the verb. The noun is with an e. Is it clear?
Yes.
Now you ether. So this is a verb. So you should write it with an a. But if you said, well, the effect of, well, this is a noun and you should start with e, not with a. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we are writing a essay, can we add questions when we write?
Okay, I will tell you about this later on. Okay.
Okay.
Now the question is, why do you want to write a question?
I don't know.
That you should know. And we do things for a purpose. Now, if you write a question, now it means one thing only. You are trying to involve the reader, right?
Yes.
You would like the reader to think with you. Is it clear?
Yes.
Now, this is a very good way if you want to add the questions. But now look at the real objective. You want to involve the examiner with you, right? So this is what you call a hook. You understand the hook?
Yes.
It is something that will attract the reader and it will incite the reader to read your essay. واضح?
Yes.
Now, if you didn't, now this is my question. If you didn't put a hook in your introduction, will the examiner read it or they will not read it?
Already.
They will read it. So they will read it in spite of themselves because they are paid for this. Now, the only thing that hooks the examiner is the money because they are paid when they mark these essays. Okay, so don't think of putting a hook, and there is nothing in the IELTS rubric. I will show you the rubric. So there is nothing.
There is no hook.
Hook, yeah, nothing. So why should you write something that will not, affect your mark positively? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Okay, there is no need for this. Okay, have I answered your question?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So no need to
No
write
need.
a hook.
No need. Do not write it. Okay, you're wasting your time. The social media has negative effects. No, it must be here because there is no a. Has negative effects, and we don't say for. What do we say?
On.
On. Ahsan, a wrong preposition. So a negative, we say an impact on, an effect on. Okay, this is preposition. That's it.
On the public.
Yes, on the public. Ahsanti. Now the public. Now these are people living within, the same community. We call them the public. Okay, al-umum, umum al-nas. This is fine. Now I like this because this person has, paraphrased the prompt. So instead of people, well, they said, well, this is on the public, which is really cool. Okay, good, very good. Now, social media has always been a great part of our life, but most people, now, what do you think about this one? What do you think about the statement? Is it okay? Hello?
لا.
No.
This is not good because the prompt, I mean the statement that you have in the prompt, it never stated this. Now this is what you call off point, and if you start this way, it means that in your essay, okay, so you will be talking about the positive things, but never. Yeah, the prompt doesn't say this. You need to stick to the prompt, guys. Okay, Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy for one reason, because you gave this person only a star, and maybe I think this person put a star for themselves, maybe. Okay, because this one, no, it is not the prompt. Okay, very good, guys. Wallah, mashallah alaikum, salaha. Okay, cool. Hide media. Okay, I know. Okay, cool. Okay, great. Okay, second question. Now, what do you need to do? Tick whatever applies. Now, I need to take a stand. It means to make a decision, take a position. I need to express my opinion clearly. I need to support my opinion with good reasons. I need to provide some examples. I need to meet, now this is with a T, meet the word count. And I need to mention the benefits and the drawbacks of social media. So there are 5 statements which are correct and 1 statement which is wrong. According to the rubric, guys, according to the writing prompt, so there are things that you need to do. Take a stance. Do I have to do this? Express my opinion. Do I have to do this? Support my opinion. So you read here the writing prompt and you will understand what you should do, because everything is clear. These are the instructions, which is the second part of the prompt. Okay, great. Now I need to take a stance. I need to take a stand. I need to show my position. The question is, do you agree or disagree with this? Well, right from the start, guys. Okay, so I need to tell the examiner, well, I agree with the statement. Now, this is what you call taking a stance. Okay, and you need to express your opinion clearly. Okay, you should never take, for example, well, a position that doesn't show the examiner, okay, that which side you have already taken. Okay, so right from the very beginning, guys, so you would say, well, I disagree with the statement or I agree with it. Do you have any other option?
No.
No, you don't have. Be careful. Okay, the question says, do you agree or disagree? So I need to take one stance only. Either I agree with it or I disagree with it. There are some people who would say, well, I agree with it for 2 reasons and I disagree with it for another reason. No, this is wrong. This is not the type of question. Now, if you have, the question says, there's another question. To what extent do you agree with the statement? Now, we don't have this question. Now, this is another question and we're going to talk about this later on. But here the question is, do you agree or disagree? So it's 50-50. You want to agree or disagree? Tell me why you agree. Tell me why you disagree. But the other question, to what extent, إلى أي مدى, to what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, that's another issue. We're not talking about this. And this is why here some of you said, well, I need to mention the benefits and the drawbacks of social media. This is wrong. If you want to agree, you need to mention the drawbacks. If you want to disagree, you need to mention the benefits. But you can never mention both. In these, I mean, in this type of question, it's only one side, either black or white. There is nothing like gray, something in between, which you call a middle ground position. Middle ground, so you are 50-50. But you cannot adopt what you call a middle ground position only when the question says, to what extent do you agree? Okay, now here you can adopt this middle ground position, but never for this type of questions. Never. Here you have to agree or disagree. One of them. Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably why most of the students, they do not score very well, because they don't know how to approach the question and how to answer it. Now, the question tells me, do you agree or disagree? For example, now in real life, okay, so I will make a suggestion. For example, we're going to a restaurant, okay, and I like to order steak, okay. I will tell you, Abdurrahman, would you like to have steak? Abdurrahman will tell me, yeah, I like steak, or no, I don't like it. Abdurrahman will never tell me, well, look, I like steak for some reasons and I don't like. No, never. Can I order for Abdurrahman if he tell me, well, I like it for some reasons and I don't. Can I make an order for Abdurrahman?
No.
No. This is what happens for the IELTS. They ask me, do you agree or disagree? One of them. I need to adopt one opinion. So either to agree with it and give the disadvantages, or to disagree with it and talk about the advantages. But here mention the benefits and the drawbacks. No, the question never asks you to do this. So that's why understanding the question is the most important part in your way to approach the question. Now, express my opinion, definitely, and it has to be very clear. Well, I agree with this. Okay, support my opinion. Yeah, you need to support your opinion. So we said that when you make an argument, okay, there must be two things. Well, the conclusion, I agree with it. Well, that's what you call the claim. I agree with this. Now, that's the conclusion. And I need to come up with some premises, the reasons. Now, these are the two things, conclusion, premises. Well, that's what you call an argument together. So that's definitely something I need to do. Provide some examples. Yes, the prompt asks me to provide some examples. Okay, and meet the word count. Yes, I need to meet the word count because they said no less than 250 words. Mention, no, I shouldn't do this. Okay, Mumtaz, Khawla is still number one. We move on. No, this is a multi-select question. You have to select more than one answer. I should take what? I should take a middle ground opinion. So in between, or the opinion that I can support irrespective of my personal beliefs, or crystal clear position, either agree or disagree, and the opinion that highlights the positive side of the argument. Now you have to choose two answers, which are correct.
شنو أول وحدة middle group opinion.
Middle ground position, it means in the middle. نص نص. I will agree and I will not agree. واضح؟
أيوة الزرقاء.
The opinion that I can support, اللي أنا أستطيع دعمها irrespective بغض النظر عن قناعاتي الشخصية. Okay. Yeah, for number one, middle ground opinion, no, this will not help the examiner understand which side I have already taken. They will not understand. So you should never, I said, it's either black or white, okay? Middle ground position, well, or opinion, well, that's something in the middle, halfway. It is not, here they are talking about extremes. If you agree or you don't agree, one of them. But here, middle ground, so it is, an opinion in the middle. I don't like this. Now the examiner, they will not understand me. So that they want me to indicate, well, I agree or I disagree. The opinion that I can support, yes. Now, for example, my conviction or my belief is that the internet is, a good, so social media is a good thing. Now, this is my conviction. Okay, but I cannot write about it. Okay, I have better examples and better reasons for the other one, which is the negative. Okay, so I really don't care about this is why I said irrespective. It means regardless of your personal beliefs. Okay, the most important thing is that you choose the opinion that you can best support. Okay, even if it goes against your principles and against your conviction. هذا شو يعني? Is it clear, this one?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, crystal clear position, yes. So I need to be, I need either to agree or to disagree. And there is nothing in between, nothing. And the opinion that highlights the positive side, no, you should not. If you chose this one, do not go for the opposite. No, never. Okay, so two of you guys, you still have problems with understanding the prompt. Okay, we move on. Brainstorming. Now, what stance will you take? Is it agree or disagree? Write a statement in which you agree or disagree with the perspective. What is this? With the perspective presented in the prompt. Now, I would like you to show me how you can agree. For example, you agree. Okay, how can you write this? You disagree. Okay, what will you write to show the examiner that this is your opinion, your stand? Okay. Okay. Okay, now let's have a look at what you have produced. We have 5 answers. Okay, now what we're going to do, guys, so we're going to vote for these ideas. We have 6. Okay, now if the student has come up with something clear, crystal clear, their opinion is clear, give it a star or give them a star. If their stand is not clear, just skip it. Okay, now we have this one 4 stars, and we have number 5, Khawla, mashallah. I totally agree with an idea which is presented on the statement. Now here, okay, now, first of all, before we judge the language, is this clear? Is this clear? For
من غير
example,
أيوة.
no, don't care about an. Don't care about them. Okay, now, first of all, so I need to judge what you call the clarity of the statement. Now, what Khawla wrote, is it clear? For example, you are an examiner, and she said, I totally agree with an idea which is presented on the statement. Now, forget about the mistakes, but is this clear? Do you know
Yes.
which stand she has taken? Who said yes?
Me خولة.
No, Khawla, you should not talk. It is
I
clear.
understand, yes.
Because the statement is saying
Still Khawla, right?
harm, yes, social media has harmful influence.
Right, okay, yes. Okay, great. Now she's aware. Now this is something positive. Be aware, yeah? She's aware of what she wrote. Yes, so she said, I totally agree. Okay, with here instead of an idea, so with the idea. Is it clear?
Yes.
لأن معرفة حطيت which خلاص.
Mm.
Now with the idea which is presented, do we say on the statement or in the statement?
And
Yes, in the statement. Okay, good. Okay, now I totally agree with the idea which is presented in the statement. Now this is crystal clear. I know her opinion, and now I expect Khawla, okay, to go about developing this idea into her paragraph. Okay, great, excellent. I fully agree with the perspective presented in the statement because. Now, is this clear?
I fully agree.
With the
Yes.
perspective presented in the statement.
صح.
Yes, it must be okay because I wrote this. Okay, yes, I wrote this. Now, with the perspective or with the view, we can say I fully agree with the view presented in the statement. And here I wrote because I need to include two
Reasons.
Yes, in my introduction, but I didn't complete simply because I asked you to write this. I just wanted to know about your stand. That's it. Okay. If the stand is clear, I fully agree. The examiner knows that I took the positive stand, which means agreement, not the negative one. Okay, Mumtaz. Now, I totally agree that networking sites, okay, have, I don't know, but
Hey.
this is negative.
نيجاتيف يس
اوكي لساتك مصر على الاي تحط
على ايه لا مش عارفه يعني
اوكي مصر باي زين so okay now that's cool I totally agree that networking sites have negative effects on the public. Okay, great. Now this is clear, no problem.
Totally فيها mistake.
No problem, no problem. I said,
صح.
look, because here our target is not mistakes. Our target is to see whether the writer can express a crystal clear idea or not. Now, yes, he said, I totally agree that networking sites have, okay, here have is okay, but still
negative.
a problem with, yes, negative. Normally, look at this, Huda. If it is a plural, no, okay. If it is singular, that's it.
زين بس هني هي حطت يعني حلو حطت have لأن that social شو هذا
because here she
networking
did
sites have حلو.
Yes. لأنه هي ما قالت social media قالت social يعني هي المفروض تقول social media networking sites. Okay, so no problem. Okay, this is fine. زين Rama, I agree. The social media has many effect on people. Now, what about this one?
Effects many.
Okay. But what type of effects? لأنه الeffect is a neutral, guys. The effect هذه, it is a neutral word. Now, we could have some negative effects and we can say positive effects. Now,
I agree that social
Okay.
media
yes,
has هني حطت many بس حطت واحد effect.
بس لما when she said many effects. Now, does this mean, okay, are they positive or negative? We don't know. لأنه effect is neutral. يعني كلمة ما عندها شيء لما تقول effect تأثير. هل التأثير سلبي أو إيجابي؟ هي ما ذكرت. فهذه it is not clear. So تقدر تقول I agree that social media has any negative
effect. لازم تضيف negative أو positive.
And you say on people, ما تقول the people, on people. وإلا on the public. Is it clear, Rama?
Yes.
Yes, either on people وإلا on the public. But very good. This is cool. Okay. هذه البداية الحمد لله مشجعة جدا والله أنا بقول. باي. Okay. ممتاز. and here if I agree. مين قال لك if I agree إن شاء الله؟ ما أدري هذا.
ما فهمت السؤال.
السؤال انك show me انا this is what I said حسن قلت لك show me give me your opinion now and it should be very clear now if I say if I agree ما فهمتك انا if I agree انا ما طلبت منك هيك انا قلت لك do you agree or disagree قل لي I agree والا I disagree هذا هو ما تقول لي if I agree I will state some fact انت فهمتك انت قاعد تحلل صح؟
ايوه.
very good. لا هو المطلوب لا ممكن ما فهمت السؤال صح لأنك أنت you are a good guy you are a good student so I know okay maybe because you did not understand the question so if I agree I will state some facts and example to support yeah you are trying to analyze this okay no worries I should take the positive things ما أدري شو يعني things هذه عبد الرحمن هذا أكيد يعني
تفكير تامر يمكن.
not me.
إيه
أيوة.
لا أقول هذه تفكير ولا things أشياء
يعني أشياء.
thanks
أشياء
بالجي.
بالجي لأن بعرف أنا الطلاب من خبرتي so they write هذه دائما يحطوا okay now this is with a G now I should take the positive who told you that you should take the positive and if you say this to the examiner I should take the positive they will never understand what you're trying to do so please try to be straightforward يعني give a straightforward answer well I agree or I disagree with is it clear guys
أيوة أستاذ أنا داخل متأخر ما فهمت السؤال.
مو مشكل ابدا باي اوكي احسنتي خوله هدى number 2 راما number 3 حسن number 4 and عبد الرحمن is number 5 now generating specific example باي شو عملنا احنا على الاول انا يعني just to recap نلخص now first thing well I need to read the prompt and I need to understand the prompt كل الاسئله all the questions that I asked you guys is to check your understanding do you understand what is required do you understand what you should do well, the first thing I need to do, I need to understand the prompt, and then I need to answer the question. هذه أول حاجة بعملها. Well, I agree or I disagree. لازم تعمل. هذا كله من الأول تعمل. تفهم. Now, step number 2. Now, once you have taken a stand, whether you agree or disagree, what do you need to do? You need to generate some specific ideas, not examples. أنا كاتب examples. لا, ideas. Okay? هذه الخطوة الثانية هذه thinking إذن the first step is understanding the second step is generating specific examples or ideas sorry okay now once you generate the ideas you have to be very specific I said specific لأنه الناس when they talk about brainstorming يقول لك write down anything that comes to your mind I don't like this I don't like you to waste your time guys okay I'd like you to get organized and to think about or to think of some very specific examples so for example I don't agree I have to think of 2 reasons why I do not agree well I agree with the statement so I will pause I will think and I need to come up with 2 reasons that will support my example then stage number 2 thinking stage number 1 understanding the prompt stage number 2 well I need to think after I have already decided. So I will ask you some questions. Now, what are some negative effects of social media on people within their communities? Okay, so this is if you agree. Disrupted sleep patterns. Okay, people will lose the ability to sleep or they will change their sleep habits. Spread of misinformation or rumors, إشاعات. So this is another thing, severe addiction. Addiction is when you cannot give up something. اللي هو addiction يعني in Arabic الإدمان. Promoting business. So if you have a business, you can enhance your business on social media. Is this positive or negative? Enhanced online relationships. So you can have a lot of relationships online. And social isolation, you will be alone. Okay. Now, here I've given you some advantages, some disadvantages. What do you think? Here we're talking about the negative effects. Okay, now you need to choose everything that is negative about social media, and you should leave the positive ones. You should never choose them. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, yes. So disrupted sleep patterns. Well, I thought of this spread of misinformation. Well, this is something which is really not good, or the spread of rumors, severe addiction. Yeah, if you are addicted to something, well, that's something negative, and social isolation. Yeah. Okay, here, how many ideas have I generated? How many?
4 ideas.
4 ideas. Now, do I need all these ideas?
No, only 2.
Excellent, very good. Now, what do I need to do, guys? So I need to choose the ones that I can explain and I can provide an example for. Okay, so for example, well, how this is a bit scientific, so I will not talk about it. This one is too difficult for me. I cannot write about it, so I will talk about addiction and I will talk about social isolation. Now, the point is that you can generate many ideas, but try to choose the ones that you can write about. So in terms of what? In terms of explanation and in terms of examples. Okay, now that's what you need to do, guys. And this is what you call focused, I call this focused brainstorming. Or you come up with specific ideas. Okay, great. This is number 1. Okay, Hassan, Khawla, Huda, Hassan, Rama, and Abdurrahman. Now, quiz, question number 2.
شو هي social isolation؟ العزلة.
Isolation if you lose contact with people in the real world. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, العزلة in Arabic. What are some positive impacts of social media on the public? Okay? Take whatever applies.
information overload يعني.
Yeah, if you say over, is it something positive or negative?
over negative.
بس وبعدين بشرحها لك. And this will help you on the day of the exam. If you say over, well, that's an excess. Okay, well, that's, if you have excess, well, that's something negative.
لا 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 لا.
Okay, cool. Now, global connectivity, well, this is something positive. It means that you are connected to the whole world, guys. Now, if you want to think about an example, okay, now this is really cool. We have relatives in the US, we have relatives in Tunisia, we have, so, and we can connect to them easily. So thanks to social media, well, that's something good. And you can here explain and you can provide an example. Now, by providing that, you choose the opposite side, which I disagree with the statement. So you can write this as, or you can consider this as one of your reasons. Now, enhanced access to all sorts of information. Well, this is really cool, guys. Okay, so you can learn about a lot of things, about the news, about for example like football matches, about whatever. So there's a lot. You can have access to all sorts of information. Okay, and cost-effective advertising. Yeah, so if you are someone who's trying to promote their business, well, this is really a good thing. So you can promote for your business for free. You don't have to pay money. So you can send an ad on Facebook or on Twitter, so, and people will read your ad. Yeah, that's something good. Fame, which is popularity. Now you can become a popular person. لو هم يسميهم influencers. So for example, Khaby Lame, do you know the guy? Khaby Lame on TikTok. So he has around 480 million followers. Okay, now, and Nobody knew about him. So it is thanks to social media that this person has become very popular. Now you can gain visibility, so people can know about you, and recognition on a global scale. A lot. Everyone in the world, I think they know Khabilain. Okay, so simply because he is very popular on TikTok. Okay, now these are the four things. Now information overload, well, that's something negative because there is a lot of information, and you won't know so which is wrong, which is right. Okay, now that's an issue, that's something negative. And increased dependence, so you are dependent, you are so dependent on social media. Well, this is, and this will lead to, you know what, addiction. And okay, now this is negative. Now out of the four things, yes.
increased dependence يعني يقدر يعتمد على نفسه money
لا مش independence، هذه dependence.
يعني شو؟
يعني يعتمد على الآخر.
اوكي.
الأخرى independence، increased independence يعني you grow independent. هذه لا، هذه you grow dependent on others and you cannot do without social media. Is it clear? Now this is a problem. This is a kind of addiction and you should
يعني ما يقدر يعيش من غيره.
ما يقدر. يعني there are some people, for example, they post something ويبدأوا شو بيعملوا؟ They wait for other people to give them likes, you know, to هذه هي يعني سبحان الله
وصلت.
حياته تبدأ. This is something not good, and they depend on others, on their opinion, and no, this is not good. Okay, Huda. Okay, good. Now this is what you call the stage of thinking. Well, I thought I came up with two reasons that support the view, which I agree with, and two reasons that go counter to the view. Now, what do I need to do? I need to make decision. You should choose the ones that you can write about. Even that's why I said, so irrespective of your beliefs, personal beliefs. Okay. Now, because here I'm going to write about something and I'm going to get a grade on my writing. So it really doesn't matter if, for example, I write something which is counter to my beliefs. No problem. The most important thing is that I write about something, well, I know, and I can provide some examples, I can provide some explanations. Well, you need to make a decision now. My position, this is what I did. I agree with the perspective presented in the statement. So here, what am I going to do? I am going to choose two of the negative impacts on of social media on people, and I'm going to write about them. Now, the problem with some students, because they do not go through this process, they will choose, for example, one thing. Well, I agree with it. And then when they come, they want to write about the reason, they won't find. Why? Because they did not generate. They skipped one step, which is called thinking. You should never do. What will happen? They will cross out whatever they have written and they will decide, no, I'm going to choose the other view. It is easier. This is stupid. Don't ever do this. Now, before you decide writing, you should have a clear idea. What am I going to write about? Well, I have already taken my decision and you should stick to it. Do not change your decision because you have 40 minutes. And if you do this, you will never complete the task. Okay. Normally, we should take only 35 minutes and we should devote 5 minutes, okay, to proofread my writing. It's very important that you go through this step. Proofread, it means that I will write and then I will go over my writing and check it for mistakes. So maybe I have some mistakes, maybe some ideas are not clear. This is called revision. And for the mistakes, we say editing. Now we will go through this process and you will show that the most important thing, writing is not a product. يعني مش حاجة تنتجها. لا, it is a process. يعني there are some steps that I need to go through so that I can come up with a clear piece of writing. And that's what we are doing now. Okay, now I will ask you some questions. Now list some expressions of agreement. الحين أنت you want to agree with something, okay? Now, what can you say? Shufna, I totally agree with. Do you have any other expressions? This is my question. Is it, I agree with, is it the only thing that we can say? Or there are other expressions?
There are many.
Okay, so you write
That's the
them.
best.
You have up to 5 ideas. You try to write them. That's it. Oh, there is only one. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna skip the vote. So because there are only 3 of you who have submitted something. Well, number 1 said, well, I fully, I completely, I totally, I partially. Well, here there is no agreement now if you write fully, completely, totally, partially. I think the student misunderstood the question. So maybe he thought of, you know, the adverb that go with agree. You can say I fully agree, I completely agree, I totally agree. So double L here, or I partially agree. Okay, I think that's what they thought. I strongly.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, no problem. I agree with, I fully agree with, and here I strongly agree with. Now here the focus is only on the adverbs. Okay, I exactly agree, absolutely disagree, I totally understand. Okay, now actually there are many expressions that we can use, and it's not only the word agree, guys. So we can say, for example, I concur with the statement. It means that I agree with it. Okay. Or for example, I approve, I completely agree, I support that. Yeah, so I like this, I support that. Yes, I approve. Yeah. Okay, we can share. Well, I share the same opinion presented in the statement. You can say this. Okay. And you could say, for example, I am of the same viewpoint. Okay, presented in the statement. Now, I also I can say I support, like this one. So I support the statement. Okay, I support, yes. And you can say the statement resonates with me. Okay, so it is another way of saying that. Or I can say, let me think. I'm in harmony with the idea presented, or I'm in harmony with the viewpoint presented in the statement. We can
which
say.
one consider C2 or C1?
Consider, where is it?
C1, you always said that we have to follow the criteria. Yani, if we use which word we will use, it will give more
Yeah,
consider
I will show you. Yeah. So the point, no, I will show you this. Okay, but the point here is that it is not only I agree with. There are other expressions, okay, that we can use. No, I agree with. That's very simple. Okay, that's very simple. It is very clear, but it's very simple. But there are other expressions that we can use. Okay, so I have mentioned some of them. I don't remember what I said exactly. Yeah, we can say, for example, I am on the same page as I'm on the same page as the statement or the preposition or the viewpoint. Okay, I tend to agree with. I'm inclined to agree with. Okay, So things like these things. Now, the most important thing is that there is not only one way. No, there are many ways. Okay, and for example, if my target is to get band 6, well, I would say, well, I agree with the statement. Okay, that's very clear. But there are other expressions that are better. They are more complex, and we can learn them. Now, I will skip voting here. Another question. Okay, what are some expressions of agreement? Tick whatever applies. Now, read the statements here and try to choose the ones that express agreement. For example, I firmly endorse the viewpoint expressed in the statement because, or I fully agree with the statement primarily because. I hold conflicting views, متضارب, regarding the statement. I completely concur with the assertion and statement primarily due to the fact that I'm in complete agreement with the statement mainly because, or I agree and I don't disagree. Choose the ones that express clear agreement,
كم واحدة غلط؟
2. There are 2 which are wrong. Right, okay. Now, I firmly endorse the viewpoint expressed in the statement because, well, I will ask Huda. Now, which is better, Huda? Now, if you are the examiner, and I said, well, I agree with the statement, okay, because, and I write this one, I firmly endorse the viewpoint expressed in the statement. Which one would you give a high score?
Red one.
Yeah, the
The
red.
red.
Okay, yeah, because here, if you look at the word endorse, okay, and I have changed everything here. So viewpoint and expressed. Now this is what they got, the reduced adjective clause. Now this one is more complex. Okay, and the most important thing, because earlier I said, well, I need to produce complex language. No, if it serves the purpose. هذا هو الفرق. Now, if this complexity in language serves the purpose and it's very clear, go for it. Like if you learn expressions, قل لك يلا احفظ هذه وحطها. No, you shouldn't do this. Okay. Now, there are many ways in which I can express my opinion. Well, this one, okay, it is crystal clear, guys. And here I have used perfect language. I firmly endorse the viewpoint expressed in the statement because, and I need to include the 2 reasons in the introduction. This should be your second thing. Okay. I fully agree with the statement. You see here, this one is simpler than this one, but it's still
Very
both,
simple.
yeah, like both are clear. Now, the most
Yes.
important thing that you should be clear, the examiner should understand what you're talking about. Okay. Now, I hold conflicting views. Now, conflicting, no. يعني عندي آراء متضاربة. يعني هوني, what are you going to do? You're going to adopt what you call a middle ground position. We don't like this. This is not clear. No, X. I completely concur with. This is fine. Concur with, yani agree with. The same thing. Now, we can say endorse something, concur with something, agree with something. You see, this is the way you learn. بعدين تبدأ عندك vocabulary repertoire, يعني خزينة من الكلمات. أنت on the day of the exam, you are going to choose, تختار. I will use agree. But look, I know a word which is better than this one, okay, and I'm going to use it. So if it is correct and it conveys precise meaning, معنى دقيق, use it. If you are confused, يا أخي, I will say I agree بس لأنه هذه, it's okay. But if you use a word that doesn't convey precise meaning, it means that the examiner will not understand. Now, I completely concur with the assertion instead of statement, primarily due to the, هذه طبعا due to or because of. the fact that, and I will include 2 reasons. And this one, yeah, that's it. ما ادري ليش انتوا حاطين عليها X هذا.
أنت يا أستاذ حاتم.
Sorry, you are the one who.
Yeah, it's me, guys. Huh?
It's-
Okay,
it's
so
correct.
that's my problem. Yeah, this is correct. No problem with it. I thought it's you. Okay, now I agree and I don't disagree. طبعا هذه غلط. This is wrong. I am in complete agreement with the statement mainly because this is fine. Here we have used a noun. Okay, I agree. Yani I completely agree, or I'm in complete agreement with the statement. It is the same thing, but this is better because here we used a noun and we used this combination, which is called adjective noun. Okay, this is what you call collocation. Collocation means words that go together. Okay, now
You put
سؤال.
yes.
عندي سؤال. الحمراء تعتبر complex sentence؟
Look, هلا احنا كيف نعرف complex ولا مش complex؟ نعرفهم من خلال السبجكت والverb. شوفوا كم كلوز عندي I indoors، هذه subject verb صح ولا لا؟
إيه.
هذه the viewpoint، هذه expressed in the sentence. هذه أصل الجملة شو هي؟ which is expressed، لا which is expressed in the statement. هي هيك. شنو الويتش وشنو الاتش الاز، ولا عندي ايش، ولا عندي هوني reduced adjective clause. اي جمله فيها reduced adjective clause او الكومبليت الادجكتيف كلوز هو بالويتش ولا بالهو ولا بالذات، هذه تتسمى كومبلكس. لكن هي كومبلكس عشان انا احط هوني
because
ولازم ايش؟ لازم بعدها subject to verb. اذا هذه بتكون complex sentence. Is it clear؟ نفس الشيء هذه راح تكون complex. I fully agree with the statement primarily because. Why؟ باش تحط subject verb. Okay. Now هذه نفس الشيء complex. I completely concur with the assertion primarily due to the fact that ايش؟ subject verb. كلهم راح يكونوا complex sentences. Is it clear? Okay, I think she. Okay, good.
yes.
Okay, good. Now brainstorming. Now list some expressions of disagreement. Now if I want to disagree, what can I say? Okay, type your answers. هل we have only one expression, I disagree with the statement وخلصنا, or there are other expressions that I can use? This is my question. Okay, we have 3 statements. لساتكم تعملوا لي هذوما I totally disagree. خلاص ما قلت I disagree وهوني I disagree وهوني I disagree. ما في داعي تبدلوا هذوما يعني في شي طريقة ثانية يعني you know يعني apart from the word disagree. Do you know any other words? That's my question. Okay. Now I differ. Yes. So this is good. Argue no. Resist maybe. Okay, I don't think so. I can't concur that. Okay, good. Now, actually, there are many expressions. Now, we can say, for example, I hold a different perspective on the matter, a different perspective or a different view. Okay, we can say, for example, my stance, موقفي. My stance contradicts, okay, the statement. يناقض. So my stance contradicts the statement. Okay, I disagree. We can use this. I disagree with the statement. We can say, for example, I cannot support the statement. Okay, it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not assented, but I don't. I did not understand. We can say I cannot support. Okay. We can say, for example, we can use an idiom. We can say, I find myself at odds with the statement. ODDS. So I find myself at odds with the statement. Now I tend, or I am inclined to differ, from the statement, or the statement doesn't align with my views. Okay, actually, there are many ways, guys, many ways. Okay, so I just wanted to know what you already know so that we can add something. I will skip the book so that I can add something new to you. Okay, now, some of these, the expressions here are, so choose them. What are some expressions of disagreement? Take whatever applies. Now, I adopt a balanced stance. Well, that's what you call a middle ground position. I respectfully hold an opposing perspective on the statement. My view diverges from the given statement. I neither agree nor disagree. My standpoint differs markedly from the assertion. I take a different stance on the matter due to the fact. So there are two which are wrong. Do not choose them. Okay. Now, number one is wrong because here we have a balanced stance, which is a middle ground opinion or position. We don't like this. Okay, I hold, or I respectfully hold, an opposing perspective on the statement because, and I'm going to list two reasons. Well, this is fine. And 5 of you have opted for this answer. My view diverges. Yes, it means differs. It's not the same. My view diverges from the given statement as, and I'm going to include 2 reasons. This is okay. 3 of you have chosen it. I neither agree nor disagree. No, this is wrong. Alhamdulillah, nobody opted for this one. My standpoint differs markedly from the assertion since means because. شوف هونيك أنا أعطيتكم a lot of alternatives. We can say because if you want to give a reason, or you can say as, or you can say since. And all of these, these are called subordinating conjunctions. What do they help me do? They help me produce a complex sentence. ممتاز. I take a different stance, constantly position or opinion, okay, on the matter due to the fact that, and here, هذه الرابعة. شفتوا هون شو بنعمل. This is what we're doing, guys, okay? We can say, in order to introduce or inject my reasons, now I can say because, I can say as, I can say since, I can say for, which is not here, and I can say due to the fact that, كلهم هذا, they will help me write a complex sentence, okay? So, what I would like to emphasize is that there is no one single expression that you can use. So you can use, okay, I agree with, that's fine. Okay, but there are better expressions that you can use and they will, help you get a higher score or score higher on your test. Okay, so what you need to do, so because you're going to use them only once, so try to learn one expression so that when you have these types of essays, you can use this expression. Now, this is fine. Here we are not learning what you call try to use a scaffold. scaffold هو القالب اللي يقول لك عليه. عندي قالب حبيب القالب هذا ما بيركب لكن أنا عندي for example for the IELTS exam so I have this type of essay. Do you agree or disagree? So what do I need to learn? I need to learn expressions, okay, so that I can express my agreement or my disagreement with the statement. بس هذا بتحفظهم اوكي. اما والله قالب تكتب لي جمل وتحطهم لي هيك. No, you should never do this. Okay, is it clear guys?
Yes, yeah.
باهي ممتاز.
Yes.
Okay, way to go هدى. حسن number 2 أحسنت. خولة then Rama and عبد الرحمن. But الحين the first stage it was understanding the prompt. The second stage was thinking. Okay, now I have already thought. I have a stand. I'm gonna agree with the statement, disagree with it. I know some expressions how to agree. I know some expressions how to disagree. Well, the last step is not the last. The last but one, قبل الأخير. Well, I need to plan my essay. Okay. So what am I going, or what sections should I include in my essay? This is what you call planning, and it shouldn't take you more than 2 minutes. Okay, so we will understand the prompt 2 to 3 minutes, and then we will think 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, now these are 4 or 5 minutes. Then what do I need to do? So I need to brainstorm some ideas, and I need to be very specific. So I will come up with 2 ideas. Now this should take you about 2 to 3 minutes. We'll have them 6 minutes. Okay, 7 minutes. Now I need to plan for 2 minutes. خلينا نقول كلهم مع بعضهم maybe 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. بعدين writing, if you are a good writer, you can finish your essay within 20 minutes. راح يكونوا كلهم 30 minutes. أنت you are given 40 minutes. قلنا احنا 35. خلينا نقول 25 writing minutes, and I will leave 5 minutes. Okay, this will help me proofread my essay. اقراها واشوف الاخطاء. ممكن في اخطاء subject verb agreement واحد. Okay, try to avoid these mistakes, and you will be using what you call a pencil, and you will be given a rubber so you can adjust your writing and you can fix the mistakes. Okay, now this is a multi-select question. Now what should I write about in the introduction? هلا بنعمل plan. So in the introduction, why should I write? So there are 2 things that you need to choose. Introduction, في أي موضوع, it should be 2 sentences, no more than this, guys. 2 sentences. اسمها introduction. It will introduce the reader to what you are going to talk about in, the body. هذا شو يعني introduction. ما عنده حتى صيغة ثانية. I should express my agreement or disagreement. يعني I should say, yes, I agree, or no, I don't agree. هوني I should write a background statement. يعني جملة عامة جدا على السوشيال ميديا. I should paraphrase the question. يعني rewrite the question in my own words اللي هي the statement. أصيغة كلامي. I should write an outline statement. يعني in this essay I'm going to talk about.
Can choose more than one answer? Yes,
you have 2 answers which are correct. 2 things should be included in the introduction. Only 2 things. الباقي كلام فاضي كله. But 4 of you said, well, I need to express my agreement. If the examiner doesn't know about your opinion in the introduction, أقسم بالله, أقسم بالله, أقسم بالله, you will have a very low score. هذه number 1. Now, I need to paraphrase the question. Yes, a statement هذه الأولى, I need to paraphrase it. اللي هي قال social media have negative impacts on people in their societies. Yes, I need to do this. Now, this will show the examiner that you understood the topic. أنت فهمته. Then this should be number 1. I need to paraphrase the question. بعدين I need to indicate whether I agree or disagree. والشيء الثاني شو بتعمل? You should include 2 reasons. احنا قلنا at least 2 reasons. Well, I agree because of this. Well, I disagree because of these 2 reasons. Write a background statement. هذا كلام فاضي. يقول له social media are increasingly becoming popular. هذا ما يهمني أنا أصلا. هذا الكلام الباطل الفاضي. Write an outline statement. جيت تقول له okay, in this essay I am going to talk. يا حبيبي هو قال لك talk about it. هذا قال لك. So he said talk about this. أنت جيت تقول له I am going to talk about it. أنا بقول لك عبد الرحمن الله يرضى عليك انا في ذائقه ماليه بدي اياك تعطيني 1000 درهم، شو بتقول لي؟ دخل يدك لجيبك وتمدي ال 1000 درهم اذا معك، صح ولا مو بصح؟ ما بتوقع عبد الرحمن يقول لي اوكي تيتشر الان ساعطيك 1000 درهم، لا كلام باطل هذا. يعني انت قال لك do this، قل له اوكي I am going to do it. No, this is stupid. Do it. Don't say I'm going to do this. No need for this. هذه outline statement. اوكي. هذه تكتبها في شو؟ تكتبها if you are conducting a research paper. تجي تكتبها في الابستراكت. الابستراكت اللي هو عباره على مقدمه. وتقول this research paper talks about this. We went about to مثلا finding this. Okay. But it is not in an essay. We never include it. No need for this, guys. Okay, we move on. أحسنتي خولة. Huda, still number 1. Now, how many body paragraphs? هلا شوف introduction. We should write 2 things. الحين body paragraphs. How many body paragraphs should I write? 2 to 3 main body paragraphs, 1 main body paragraph, وإلا this is body with O. وإلا 4 to 5 main body paragraphs or more than 5 body نفس الشيء. هذا يعني بعمل copy paste. Okay, paragraphs. Yeah, cool. Okay. طبعا هوني you cannot write احنا قلنا at least 2 reasons. يعني for each reason I need to write 1 paragraph. Okay. لكن هذه يعني you should write more than 1 paragraph in order to meet the word count, guys. Now here 2 to 3 main body paragraphs. Yes. Yeah, this is what you need to do. 4 this is way too much and 5 is way too much. So here we are simply planning, guys. Okay. And maybe I'm going to ask you one question about the conclusion. Yes, what should I conclude? What should I include in my paragraph? Now, when you write the paragraph, there are things that you should include. So a topic sentence, cohesive devices, these are linking words in order to link join my ideas, supporting details to support this topic sentence, and the opposite opinion, should I include this? Okay, now there are 3 things that are correct and 1 is incorrect. Way to go, guys. Yeah, very good. Okay, now I need a topic sentence. So for example, well, I disagree with the statement. And one of the reasons I came up with is isolation. Well, I would say, well, social media, okay, most of the time, okay, lead people or cause people to be isolated. Or for example, social media has a negative impact on people, the most significant of which is the feeling of, for example, living on an island. Yeah, if you live on an island, if you have the feeling, it means that you are alone. Okay, so this is my topic sentence. And then I need to explain this. Okay, why did I say this? How is that? Okay, then I need to link. So, for example, I'm going to write 2 sentences about this one. So, and I'm going to give an example. Well, I need cohesive devices. Now, if I want to give an example, I would say, well, for example, for instance, to illustrate, okay, to highlight this point. Now, these are called cohesive devices that will help the examiner, follow your ideas easily. Okay, it's a must. And, 1/4 of the mark, ربع العلامة, it is on the use of cohesive devices. Okay, so this is what you call coherence and cohesion. And we have 4, areas. Number 1 is, did you answer the question? This is number 1. Okay, which is task completion or task achievement. هذه الأولى. هذه ربع العلامة. Well, this is the most important thing. Now, because if you wrote something which is off topic, okay, the examiner would not look at the other ones. So your essay is about the negative, for example, effects of social media, and you wrote about the positive effects of social media. Well, you did not answer the question. If you didn't answer the question, the examiner will never look at your vocabulary, at your grammar, and at cohesion. No, they will never look at this. Why should they? because you wrote something which is off point. You will get 0, and that's it. Did you get the point, guys? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. Okay, now what paragraph structure can I help or can help me organize my ideas? Now here, when you write the paragraph, you need a structure to follow. It's very important. Okay. Now it's like a roadmap. Now we have the peel with the double E. We have peel with triple E, and here we have the peel with double E, and here we have the plea, and here we have P. But I know that these are technical, guys, so there is no need. Maybe some of you are aware of them. There are 3 correct and there is 1 wrong. So I will skip this for the sake of time, and I will explain.
Point with example or evidence.
Yeah, very good,
ما في
excellent.
شيء.
Yes, هذا moment. So do not look at this, because here I copy and paste. Now look at these only. Now here we have the peel. Okay, so with the triple E. Here we need to come up with a point, which is your topic sentence. I need to come up with the evidence. I need to explain. Okay, provide some explanation. And I will talk about the effect, تأثير. And I will link. Okay, آخر جملة بتكون you link, for example, this will help you link back to the topic, which is the point. Okay, well, this is why I believe this. Okay, this is way too long, guys, way too long. Now, if you're writing a research paper, but not an essay of 250 words, so we will not adopt this one. This is way too long.
Can I share something about a technique?
Yeah.
Actually, my friend, she gave me an advice before writing. She said,
Yeah.
use the Oreo technique. Oreo, O for opinion,
Okay.
R for reason, E for example.
Yeah, and the O?
For the example. And O for my opinion.
Or you mean?
Oreo. Yeah, Oreo. O for my opinion.
Okay.
R for the reason, E for the example.
Yeah, and what is the O? They said Oreo or.
Oreo, yani O-R-E, I don't know.
Yeah, this is or. Why do you say Oreo?
Oreo, E at the end.
Because you said Oreo, I thought it's
Yeah.
O-R-E-O.
O-R-E.
Oh, because this is the way you pronounce it, Oreo.
Okay.
But or, yeah, this is fine.
To make me remember that I need to write about the opinion, reason, and
Very good,
example.
yeah.
I think.
This is a very good way. You know, there is nothing like, for example, well, this is something. No, yeah, you adopt a structure. Yeah, so opinion. No, but here in the paragraph, in each paragraph, are you going to write an opinion?
No, of course not.
Yeah,
Not
so this is
each
why
paragraph.
here we have, this is not mine, this is developed by people, so it will help you write. P means point. Well, so the point of your paragraph, what are you going to talk about? Now you provide the evidence, you explain, and then you talk about the effect, and you link back to the topic. Oh, I said this is way too long. We're not going to, what you share is good, really. It's good. Okay, and structure. Now this is the peel. Now with the 2E only, 2 E's, the point, the evidence, explain, link. This is way too long. Okay. Then we have point, evidence, explain. Okay, this is very easy to follow, but the problem is with the evidence. Okay, we will adopt this one, the point, explain, and example. Okay, well, what's my point? I need to provide some explanations and I need to give example because that's what the rubric asks me to do. Okay, so point, explain, example. Now that's what we call the P paragraph structure. So we're going to adopt this one and we're going to stick to it. It's just like what you proposed, Huda, almost the same thing. Is it clear? Except that in the paragraph, I'm not going to write about my opinion. I'm going to give the point, which is the reason. Huda, is this clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, no, we are on the same wavelength. Now, normally, I should come up with something like this. Okay. So in the introduction, I'm going to write about 2 things. The first thing I'm going to do is to paraphrase the statement. It is to rewrite or reword, okay, the statement, or rewrite it in my own words. Well, that's number one. This will help the examiner understand that, okay, I, as an IELTS candidate, I have understand the topic. Great. And then I need to include two reasons. Now, if you agree or you disagree, one of them. So if I agree, okay, what two reasons did you come up with? If you disagree, what two reasons? And these need to be in the introduction. The main body paragraph, well, I'm going to write, because here I chose two reasons. So paragraph number one will be about the first reason, and paragraph number two is going to be about the second reason. And here we say point, well, reason number one that I've chosen is severe addiction. Okay, I'm going to talk about this one. I need to provide some explanation to explain what severe addiction is and how, for example, and then I need to provide an example, or I could write, only we try to be very flexible. I can, instead of an example, I will come up with a result, no problem. Or for example, I'm going to mention an effect. But this is the way you should structure your paragraph, and the examiner can see what you're talking about. Now I'm going to mention one point, and then I'm going to explain this point, and then I'm going to provide an example. Okay, it's very simple, very simple. And then I will write the conclusion. So here there are two ways. You could reinforce your opinion. The same opinion. This is why I told you you should maintain the same opinion. So the same opinion that you disagree, well, I disagree with, and it should be reflected in the conclusion. Now, what are you going to do here? Or what are you doing exactly? So here I am. If you, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to develop my points, and then I will conclude. Now, this is what you call the evident conclusion. You come up with an evident. It should be always the same. It should always be the same. Okay. Now, that's basically what we should do. Okay. Now, this is of point. Now, drafting, writing the introduction. Okay, now what are we going to do? I don't know how much time. Yeah, we are left only with 5 minutes. So I'll give you this as a homework, no problem. Now, how to paraphrase? Number one, I need to paraphrase the statement. In the introduction, I said we need two sentences. So sentence number one, it will be about paraphrasing the statement, and you should know how to paraphrase the statement. Now, here we have social media. Now, paraphrasing means, well, I need to write something, or I need to come up with, synonyms or alternative expressions, but I need to keep the same meaning of the statement, the same meaning of the statement. Now, the statement is negative. It is about the negative side of social media. So I have the word here, social media. I have the word exert. I have harmful. I have influence. I have members. I have society. Now, what do I need to do? I need to provide, alternative expressions for these words or expressions. Now, social media. So is it the only way, or are there any other words that mean social media? Exert. Can I come up with a word that has got the same meaning as the word exert? Harmful. Do I know any other word? Okay, now the problem with this, guys, some students go to extremes. So for example, okay, well, I don't know any other alternative for social media. Yeah, يكتب social media. It's very easy. Write social media. It is better than to come up with something which is wrong, okay, which is not accurate. لأن الaccuracy بتاخد عليه علامة. Okay, so I will keep it. If you don't know an alternative for the word exert, okay, use exert. Okay, you don't have, now this is the main point, you don't have to paraphrase all the words and expressions. Okay, but the most important thing is you try to come up with something of your own word. That's it. Now, we're gonna find similar words or phrases. Now, what phrase can replace social media? So go through these and choose the ones that we can use instead of social media, but they convey the same meaning. نفس المعنى. ممتاز. So for social media, I can say online social networks. Okay, but I cannot say email platforms. This doesn't mean social media. I can say social networking sites. Okay, so it's almost the same thing. I can say social channels. I can say social platforms. Okay, but not email. Social platforms, social channels, online social networks, social networking sites. Now, it is better than, to use one word and then you try to repeat this word over and over again. Well, that's something which is not good. Now, this will tell the examiner that you have a limited repertoire of words. يعني الملكة الفوكاب بتاعك قليلة جدا if you keep repeating the same word over and over again. Okay, cool. ممتاز. Okay, here you have to choose more than one answer. Now, what phrase can replace exert an influence? Now, have an impact on, create an impact on, let the grass grow under his feet, have an effect on. There are 3 correct expressions. Choose them.
شو يعني الصفراء؟
Khawla, what was your question?
شو يعني الصفراء؟
The sufferer
Let the grass.
let the grass grow under his feet. Now, for example, if you are a lazy woman, okay, and you really, this is for a lazy person, this is an idiom. It means that they do not move, they don't do anything, so they let the grass grow under. If you are someone who lets the grass grow under your feet, it means that you are a very lazy person. Is it clear?
Yes.
Very lazy. ما يتحرك اصلا حتى العشب ينمو تحت رجليه اصلا. Okay, now this is an idiom. It has nothing to do with the impact. Now, have an impact on is okay. Now, instead of exert an influence, we can say have an impact on. It is the same expression. Now, create an impact on, the same thing. Have an effect on, the same thing. Okay, now these are easy. Have an effect, have an impact. Here they said exert an influence. Okay, it is the same thing, but in other words. Okay. And now another question. Now, what other adjectives can replace the adjective harmful? Can we say mild? Can we say severe? Can we say adverse? Can we say disastrous? Now, in order to replace the word harmful. So this is easy, guys. Okay, so you need to come up with a synonym.
شو معناهم؟
كيف؟
شو يعني mild؟
Mild.
Mild.
Yeah, I will not tell you. You have to choose and then I will.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let's look at what you have chosen. Okay. Now, here you have mild. So three students went for this one now, which means that you do not understand the word mild. Now, why mild here? It is an adjective. Okay, so it can collocate. I mean, they can collocate with the effect. We can say mild effect and harmful effect. Now, this is what you call collocation. Now, but mild here is an adjective, so it is used to describe something, or yeah, something that is gentle. You understand the word gentle? Gentle.
Yes.
لطيف يعني مو harmful, the opposite. Now عنده effect but it is a mild effect. Is it clear? قليل جدا. واضح؟
واضح.
Yeah. We can say gentle effect or moderate. يعني خفيف. يعني it is not something which is intense. Okay, now that's the meaning of mild. Or we cannot go for it because this is the opposite. Harmful and mild, they are opposites. Or we can say severe or harmful. We can say adverse. And we can say disasters from disaster, disaster and كارثة, disastrous effect. Yes, you can say, for example, devastating effect, devastating نفس الشيء. So it is harmful. Okay. Now, the most important thing, you don't have to know the three of them, but you choose one word that conveys, the same meaning, precise meaning. Okay, we still have another one. What other expressions can replace members of society? I think Rama said the public, which is really cool. Okay, we can say the public. Now, here we have children and their parents, community members, social groups, and people within the community. Now, what three phrases can we choose instead of, members of society? There is one which is wrong. It doesn't express meaning. The same meaning. ممتاز. But yeah, we can say social groups, we can say community members, we can say people within the community, which is more than enough, more than enough. Okay. Now, children and their parents, okay, they are members of the community, صح, لكن not all members of the communities. أنا خلال هون الأولياء أمور وأولادهم. طب there are people who are not married, there are people who are single. Is it clear? Now, honey, it is not the same. It is not the same phrase. Okay. Now, social media has exerted a harmful influence on the members of every society. Now, what I'd like you to do, guys, I'd like you to paraphrase the statement. Okay. Now, okay. هو المفروض تكتب انت. بعدين أنا راح أكتب معك. Okay. So you tell me. For example, give me an example. How are you going to paraphrase the statement? I have already given you the synonyms. Okay? أبغاك تكتب جملة على هذا. Social media has exerted a harmful influence on the members of every society. Now, we have already come up with the synonyms or with similar phrases. Okay, I would like you to put this statement in your own words. This is the first thing you should do in an introduction. And here you have to be accurate, okay? So care about, the spelling, about if the word carries exact meaning, and care about the punctuation, okay? The most important thing is that the sentence you're going to produce should equal this one, but not using the same words. And I said, if you don't know if you don't know the synonym of one word or an alternative expression of one of the expressions here, use the same words. Okay? المفيد you convey the same idea but in other words. Well, we have only two answers. No problem. Okay, show answers. But social working and networking has negative impact on the community members. But now, what about the sentence, guys? Is it clear?
Yes.
Is it you who wrote this?
Yes.
Okay, that's why you said yes. You see, I'm a smart teacher. Okay. Now here, Actually, it conveys almost the same meaning, but here we don't have like something which is called social networking. It must be social networking sites. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then social networking sites have
Have
negative impact on community
the
members. تأثير هذا ما يحتاج لأنه تحكي على شيء عام جدا on community members. Is it clear?
clear.
This is fine. ممتاز. But most members of society may find themselves spending excessive time on the internet. You see, this one, is it the same?
Same.
Allah, هذه the same? Most members of society may find themselves spending excessive time on the internet. Is it the same?
لا لا.
No.
Her opinion.
Yeah, that's not the same. So this one is not okay. Okay. بس اعطوني بس 5 دقائق. مستعدين ولا مش مستعدين؟
مستعدين.
باي ما ادري شو الشباب الاخرين بس 5 minutes guys. 5 minutes بس. Is it okay? Guys, is it okay?
Yes.
Yes. So because we need to do this together, okay? So we will do it together. خليني بس I need to share أول شيء I need to exit Kahoot. ليش؟ عشان أعمل copy statement. ولا wait, I think I have it. I don't know where I put this, but okay, I will exit Kahoot and because I need to copy the statement. That's it. So just give me a second. Where is it? Yeah, this one. Come on. Where is it? Statement, where is it? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if it is here. The statement. Yeah, yes. It is this field. And here we have this what phrase? No. Okay, social media. So maybe this one I can copy. Yeah, I can copy it. Okay. Great. Okay, now we're gonna switch to Word. Okay. Now I will show you how we can do this together. So this is my aim is to write with the students. Now we have this statement. Okay. Now we are going to produce. Now that's sentence number 1 in our essay. It will about this one. It will be about this one. Now, how can we change social media here? What should we write?
Social networking sites.
Okay. Is there any other word? Any other phrase?
Online platforms.
Okay, back. Social networking.
Site.
Oh my God. Okay, my God.
G.
Okay, I will social networking site. Okay. Okay. Now here we need to replace this one. Has exerted.
Have negative.
Okay, we can say have had. It's okay, no problem, because this is the present perfect. They have had, or they have created. Okay, or they have come up with. Okay, now social networking site have had. Okay, how can we paraphrase harmful influence?
Negative impact.
Yeah, so a negative impact. Okay, a negative impact. Kamlu, on the members of our society.
On the public.
Yes, on the public. Right. Mumtaz, is it clear?
Yes.
Right, okay. Okay, now, هذه جملتنا. Social networking sites have had a negative impact on the public. And what do you call this? What do we call it?
Statement.
أحسنتي والله بارك الله فيك. This is okay. I don't know what it is. Now, this is a statement. But الحين it is a statement يعني it is something which is said by people. Okay, now people, it's a claim. People claim this. شوف عشان this is a simple sentence. عندنا ايش subject وعندي verb. This is a simple. هلا راح ارجعها complex. هلا شو بقول مثلا it is okay frequently يعني دائما ولا it is often okay it is frequently. نقدر نقول claimed. نقدر نقول positive. نقدر نقول said. أضعف الإيمان. نقدر نقول this one احفظوها هذه posit or claim. Okay, sorry. So I would say this. It is frequently posited that social networking sites, this is S, social networking sites have had a negative impact on the public. Okay, now this is the sentence that we have paraphrased together. زدتكم علمتكم الفريز هذا. Okay, تحفظوه. Now, whenever you want to report a statement, so you can say, well, it is often said, it is often argued, it is argued, okay, it is posited, it is asserted. احفظهم الفريزز هذا. This is the passive. الباسيف يعني ايش؟ We don't know who posited this. We don't know. It is posited. ما نعرف مين. لأنه هون ما بنعرف عن الكاتب. Social media has. Okay, someone said this. مشان هيك نقول نحول الباسيف. هونيك ضربنا عصفورين حجر. يعني we kill two birds with one stone only. استخدمنا الباسيف اللي هو يعني في الجرامر راح اخذ علامه جيده والجمله ولات complex ما هي simple. Now this could be my first sentence and it will be really excellent. And I'm talking here step number 1. هوني I will be band 9. Okay, الا لما يجي اشياء تخالف ذلك. I will be band 9. Now it is frequently posited that social networking sites have had a negative impact on the public. Well, this is a paraphrase of this statement, and it is 100% okay, and the meaning conveyed is 100% accurate. Okay, so this is what I need. This is the first part of my introduction. بعدين, the second part, well, I'm going to state whether I agree with the statement
or disagree.
واضح؟
واضح.
Right. أنا بس I will ask you the same question. Huda, do you understand what we did?
Yes.
Is it easy to write about it or difficult?
No, it's easy.
Right, ممتاز. لأنه what is the problem, guys? The problem is that when you are at school, I know teachers. Now, what do? Whenever they give you a writing task, if ever they give you one, if ever, يعني بعرف they don't do this. They will give it and they will ask, well, do this as a homework. لكنهم they have never taken you through the steps of how you can write in English. واضح؟
واضح.
طيب خلاص الله يعطيكم العافية واحنا نوقف هوني لغاية ما نكمل الاساي كاملة مع بعض. راح نكملها كل هذه راح اخليها I will save this document. هذا بخبيه الدوكيمنت هذا زين وراح نكتب الاساي كاملة مع بعض خطوة بخطوة عشان تعرف لما تكتب وحدك يعني كيف تكتب بالضبط وراح تولي مبدع في الكتاب. اوكي يعني it is not something difficult. اما والله بعطيك تاسك تفضل اقول لك يلا حبيبي اكتب لي موضوع راح تكتب لي وتتجنن ابويا. لازم تعرف شو بتكتب. In the introduction, this is number 1. Now this introduction lacks what? It lacks my opinion, and I should be very clear. Well, I agree with this, what are the perspective presented in the statement for the following 2 reasons. 1, 2. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
100%.
باي الله يعطيكم العافيه. I am sorry لاني طولت عليكم.
لا شكرا.
باي يلا.
شكرا استاذ يعطيك العافيه. تسلم.
شكرا.
فهد.
Yes.